stumbled across a link for this on IG and I'm taking notes. Thanks for uploading. Oh, that's like the nicest thing someone can say, is that your content helped them. That's what I'm doing it for. What's up, y'all? What's up? Oh my gosh, welcome to my live. This really, feel free to flood my comments with questions if you have any. I really want to talk about artists, like content, music artists creating content, because I feel like that is something that investors and business partners tell music artists that they have to do all the time. Is they're just like, you need to create more content, you need to create more It's like, bruh, fucking duh. Like, don't you think that if I knew how to create content to market and promote my music and to build a fan base that's going to pay my bills and support my shows, I would be doing that? Like, if it was that easy, wouldn't everybody just be a fucking marketing genius and know how to brand themselves and how to like make the right content and stuff? But like, this reminds me of like, I don't know, MySpace days, just when we actually used to get on the internet for fun. So today is really like my client catch-up call. So I'm very structured, right? So we have calls in the beginning of the month, we have calls in the middle of the month, and we talk about what worked last month and what we're going to do going forward this month. And then our middle of the month call is kind of like our assessment of like, okay, how is the stuff that we're doing performing so well? How should we pivot? How should we change the way that we are doing things so that it is the best with everyone? And so I have multiple clients. I have one business client, we don't even need to jump on a call. She talks to me every day. She talks to me every day, sends me voice notes every day. But it's because that's a client that I worked with when I was a podcast producer. I was producing her podcast and I was helping her market her podcast as well. And then when that company fired me, because let's face it, podcasts are kind of dying. So that company fired me out of nowhere and she like had my number already. And she was like, I need someone to help me with social media. I liked the way that you were doing it. And so now she's one of my clients. At first she wanted to like hire me full time. And I was like, baby, you're like, my salary has to be like $100K a year plus, or because I could be making that on my own doing what I'm doing right now if I continue to grow my own company. And so she decided to pay me for my services. Anyways, going back to it, today I had client calls with two of my clients, and they are both one of them is 30, one's 30, and one is like in her early 30s. And I made them a 30-day content plan. And they have both been running into some struggles with like staying consistent with their content plan. But I have another client, Aayanna, who is 22, who not only has been able to consistently show up and post on TikTok, she is starting to like it. And she posted a video yesterday. The first time I saw it, 40,000 views. Second time I saw it, 60,000 views. Now it's at over 100K views. It's about to surpass her highest performing video that she has on TikTok right now. You guys, it's so crazy. I'm so juiced. I'm so excited. Like, oh my gosh. And so that made me think like, okay, what is the difference? Of course, besides age, what is the difference between this 22-year-old who is going viral, like within like, us starting our work together we just started in like October. And at the end of October, mind you, she brought me on a week before she released her EP. She is signed to an indie label and she is signed to also like a distributor. So I'm like, hey guys, what's the post-release marketing plan? I got sent a list of influencers. I'm just so thankful that I like actually listen to music artists and I try to get to know you guys as people, because I want to help you market your music in a way that is organic and authentic to you, or you're not going to want to do it. And it is going to feel like a stress, and it is going to feel annoying, and you're going to get burnt out because you're not doing shit that you actually want to do. So the difference between my clients who are, early 30s and my clients who are early 20s are my clients in the early 20s. They actually use TikTok for fun. You know, if you're a millennial in your early 30s, we use TikTok as a search engine. When this app first came out, it was a fucking like cringe app. Like people were doing shit like stepping on eggs and, you know, getting their sleeves wet on purpose. So it was literally like you would watch it for like cringy things. Then the dances started. Then the music started because, you know, people's songs were doing numbers because they were going up on TikTok. So that's, you know, and then as it became later, now it has become more of a search engine in recent years, like, you know, 2022, 2023. And so everybody's like value driven content. And I'm not gonna front, that's what the fuck I'm doing on here, because people who have my knowledge, they are still in the building, they're still in companies. And I decided to just start my own company. And, you know, people who do that, like me, they usually don't have my business mind in my brain, because I can easily go to a company and they'll pay me six figures and I don't have to do all of this. But I wanted to start my own shit. And I was just like, y'all are not paying me my value. And I'm a Black woman. Who knows if I'm ever going to get paid my value? Let me just go into this shit and do this shit on my own. And so that's exactly what I've done and what I've been doing. And that's what's working for me. I think that's really like my unique thing, is that I have worked with, like, I can reverse engineer the career of different music artists from different status, because I've worked with Wiz Khalifa, I worked with Doja Cat, and when we started, Doja, her most popular song was Moo. She was the Moo girl, okay? So we went from that to not only crossing over, but crossing over as an international pop icon. Yes, please. Absolutely. Like, what? So I've been able to see like what we did, how things started, how things changed, how companies treat you different, how the brand deals are negotiated differently. Like, I've seen everything from the Ruta to the Tuta. So I have such a unique perspective that, and I can't speak for everybody, but I don't see other, like, there's other marketing experts and stuff on here who are like, yeah, I worked at a venue, I managed a few artists. Like, I don't see other people like me with my experience to actually like help you guys market and do this, because this is what I used to do with all those other artists. All those other artists don't want to make content either. Like, so literally I have been doing this, but I didn't know that I was doing marketing and branding. I just was helping the artists like with their rollout. That's all I thought I was doing. I'm helping you with your rollout. I'm helping us get shit done. And I'm helping us take the stuff from, you know, these labels and the stuff that they're trying to make you do that's corny, and like, let's make it like your own. That's what I would have said. If you would have asked me what I was doing when I was at Silent Co and Live Nation and stuff, that's kind of like a summary of what I was doing. In addition to me also doing all of the business stuff, like managing the projects, making sure things are getting done, communications, all of that. Anyways, back to you guys making content. So what I have been doing with my client Aayanna is we started just figuring out, like, it was a lot easier with her because she had just released an EP. So when you release an EP, it's so easy to pull from your EP. You have all of this content that you can easily just say like, okay, what are you talking about in this song? Oh, your cover is blue. Let's make that, you know, the cohesive visual aesthetic when we do aesthetic posts. Because there's a difference between the posts that you do that are just like fun, creative posts and stuff that you do that is like aesthetically pleasing and has like a certain, you know, mission or whatever to kind of keep your vibe going. So it's a blend of all of those things. And we defined her brand identity. We refined her brand identity. We went into her backstory. Like, literally, I can never say all of this in one TikTok. So I'm really happy that you guys are here for my live, because I can just take you through a timeline of like how things started when we first got together, when she made the video. And she made a video that got, like, it still might have under 40,000 views here, but she reposted it on Instagram and it has over 1 million views on Instagram Reels. And so it's like the power of repurposing your content, because people go on these different apps for different things and you just never know what they're gonna grab onto, and ways to like incorporate your music that is like actually authentic. This also, like, it might not work for you if you don't actually write your music. If somebody else writes your music, it might be hard for you to like pull from that because you didn't develop that from your heart, from your experiences. Like, it might not really resonate with you. Starting with with my artist Aayanna, like I said, when we first linked up week before her EP release, I went to her release party. She lives in Atlanta, I live in LA, but her release party was out here because her label is out here. So it was really great. Like, we just started working together, and even when we started working together, it was like, okay, let's feel things out. Neither one of us rushed into a commitment or anything, because if you don't know someone, it's like, what? You got to do a little work together. You got to do a little groundwork. You got to like get to know each other. And so for her, she is the only client that I manage. Everyone else I contract out my services to. And so our relationship is a little bit different as well, because, with my services, like, it's a minimum 3-month agreement, but that's how long we worked together until Aayanna knew. She was like, okay, I want you to like manage me 100%. Like, let's do what we need to do with the lawyers. Cause that's really all it takes. So it's actually a really fun case study. So when we first started, I was just like, not loving your synthetic wig. Girl, this is my hair. You thought this was a wig? Ooh, that means it looks good. Ow. Wow, that's a compliment. When people tell me that they think I got a nose job, when people say they think my hair is a weave, what a compliment, because you're basically saying I look perfect. Like, oh, come on. I think some people get offended, but like, why would you be offended by that? Like, someone just basically said, your nose looks so good, it looks like a plastic surgeon made it. Nose by Jesus, presented by Jazzmyne. Anyways. Oh, why thank you. Not talking about how I look, getting back to what I was talking about. So, damn, I really got ADHD. You can't compliment me, because now I'm lost. Now I'm like, fuck, what was I talking about? So back to business. Okay, so Aayanna, so I'm just like, oh, baby, I'm like, you need to post once a day on TikTok, and you need to post every other day on Instagram. The reason why I say that is because TikTok is the fastest way to grow a following, and it's not about the numbers, but it's about actually connecting with people. Most people are finding their music on TikTok. Like, when's the last time you went to a blog to see what's hot? You know what I'm saying? Like, we are discovering music through TikTok. So it's very, very important for music artists to be on here, but it's also important for music artists to like coming on here. So the kind of content that you create on TikTok really fucking matters, because if you don't like it, you're not gonna do it. You're definitely not gonna do it consistently. You're definitely not gonna show up every single fucking day if you don't like doing this shit. And I think the biggest struggle that music artists have is that they don't know how to create the content that they like, because a lot of people might not even use this fucking app, or they use this app and all they're looking at are trends, are dance trends, are you just looking at trendy, like, funny shit, and so you make trendy funny shit, and that's not helping your music. It's like yes, fun, like, yes, I want you to have fun, but no. How can producers go about creating content? So Kato the producer, do you follow Kato? He is one of my favorite music industry content creators. He is the only producer that I know that produce content that I like, because I don't really consume content all that much, but Kato has got it down, baby. And he really just pulls from his experiences. He's been a producer for 10 years. He has a like little thing that you can buy that will tell you how to collect your royalties, which is something that, a lot of people sleep on. And as a producer, you can't sleep on it, because how the fuck you gonna get paid? Yeah, as a producer, you can't get paid if you don't know how to collect from your royalties. And there's different types of royalties. There's mechanical royalties, which is when you sell physical music. There are performance royalties. There are streaming royalties. There are just like so many different royalties. But yeah, so that is something that you can do as a producer if you are trying to produce content. Also, show us how a song gets built. Go through every stage. Where do you start? You know, do you start with like one key? Then do you add the drums, the snare, the bass? Like I don't even know the layers that go into building a song, but you do because you make them all the time. So go like, and that's just stuff that would think off of the top of my head. But when it comes to creating content, it comes personal. It comes to like, okay, you have to ask questions about yourself. You have to ask, do you only provide marketing service to music artists? No. So I provide branding. I provide I also provide like content creation. I provide marketing plans, like I make rollout plans. And yeah, it's all on my website. I actually need to update my services because I the most popular thing that most people want from me is like my brand development as well as my social media like strategy. But yeah, I mean, I do so much more, because I feel like the most important things that music artists need to grow a fan base and to grow a following are, you have to know, first, you have to know your branding. Everything starts with the branding because you're the brand, baby. So if you don't know, like, what your brand message is, if you don't know what your brand identity is, if you don't know what your brand's visual aesthetic is, like all of those things are branding. And that's how you can look at an artist and be like, damn, for that EP they had they shit together. Everything was blue, everything had to do with clouds, you know, the name was Neptune, like he kept it real locked. And that's branding. You just never knew that's what it was. And of course the creative and being able to mix being creative with creating marketing assets, that's a really huge factor. And music artists are just very firm on the belief that I'm not a content creator, but it's not about creating content, it is about marketing your music. And so at the end of the day, you're not a marketing executive either. You're not a, brand strategist either, but there are people out here who can help you with that, because those are the things that are unspoken and untaught that matter in the music industry and that make the biggest artists go up. And that's the thing, is your brand identity can change. It can change per project, it can change per single, it can change per vibes. Like who you are as an artist when you are happy and in love versus who you are as an artist when you are down bad and on drugs, it's two different people, it's two different vibes, but those can both be different times in your life. And you don't even have to talk about it when you're going through it. That can just be like, and see, we're getting away. We're getting into the cohesive. We're getting away from the story, but I love it. That's how my mind works, and that's how conversations go. But yeah, Tizo Touchdown is such a great example of marketing. Those nails in his head. Like I remember me and my friends, we saw him at Bossa Nova. Bossa Nova. If you want to spot a celebrity, I don't know why everybody be up in there. But yeah, I live in LA right now, and that is like a very popular spot in like Hollywood, that a lot of people go to eat. I think it's consistently good food. Like I've never went and been like, oh, this was trash. So I think it's easy for people to go. But when it comes to creating content and all of that kind of stuff, it really just starts with your branding, and people just don't know where to start. And that's why I provide branding services, I provide creative services, I provide marketing services. And my marketing services are everything from project planning to marketing rollouts. I feel like just all the shit that you guys probably think music labels are going to do for you, that they have the potential to do for you, but are only going to do if you're at a certain point in your career and if there is a guaranteed like return on their investment and their time. But tell that to the music artists who took all their music down because you told them to sign and that you were going to rebrand them and you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like that happens so often, is that music artists are waiting for the label to do their job. And if you don't know the job that they're even supposed to be doing, how can you hold them accountable for what you think they're supposed to be doing to help you? So, if you are finding it hard to, to figure out what your branding is, a good place to start is your brand story. So I learned this from someone. So if you are a music artist, you need to get on Twitter, because there are so many people on Twitter. It's actually insane. But I actually did a post about this week, so I'm going to see if I can find that post just to look at it. But it talks about like the things to ask yourself when you are developing like your brand story, because that's the first place that you have to start with your brand story. Unless you like are just, you want to hit the ground running, like you can't even wait, like I gotta hurry up, like, and get on my Zoom and I got a single coming out next week. If you have time to work on your branding and then to plan your creative ahead of time and then do a marketing plan for all of that work, do those things in that order for every release. Like that. So that is definitely what I would suggest. And so starting with, oh, got you. Okay. Oh, what's up, Tyson? Just popping in, but listen up, people. She's amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's like my husband's best friend, y'all. Thanks, Tyson. He sent me a hat. I don't know what that is, but love it. Love that for me. So I'm on here with a motive and a mission. I'm on here to put y'all on way better than I can do in a 3-minute video. Like I'm trying to help people starting with their branding. So I can't find that post, but I'm going to go to the document for my artist Aayanna, getting back to my girl. So I want to start with how we developed like her brand story and how you can figure out how to do this on your own. Like that's the thing, is like I am not a gatekeeper. I think that's something that people in the industry do, is that they gatekeep because they think like, oh, this is what gives me value. Like, no, this is knowledge that anybody can go and look up and they can discover on their own. What people pay me for is my implementation and my original ideas for them, is me taking this knowledge that I have and applying it to them to help them personally blow up. Like I'm so proud of Aayanna, and that's the thing, is that it's such a team effort. Like I love her. Like I love how we work together. And we're so communicative, and she values me. She values my opinion. She takes what I say into consideration. She listens to the ideas that I have. But this is not like a dictatorship where she just has to do everything that I say, or where I would be offended if she doesn't do everything that I say. Like it's one thing if you are like a business person who hired me to come up with the ideas for your reels, and then I'm coming up with them and you're like micromanaging me on every single detail. Like that's out. Like that's crazy, because you hired me to do this and you're micromanaging the job. But if we're a music artist and I'm helping you develop a brand for yourself, like I don't know you better than you know you. I don't know you better than you know you. I can't do that. I cannot do that. So knowledge is great for the collective and should be spread. Exactly. The knowledge is for everybody. The original ideas sold separately. Okay, so I can pull up Aayanna's brand identity. So the first thing that you start with is, like I said, the brand story, and then you can go into a brand identity. And then I even have like concepts, like set goals, like really, like y'all, if you like what I'm saying on here, go to my page and do your homework, because I have some really great posts. Like I'm here to give all of the knowledge away, because at the end of the day, like if I get filled up with clients, there's only so many people I can help at one time anyways. And so if y'all get started and then come to me for services, like, okay, Jazz, I started working on my branding, I want to do a rollout, like it only helps me to help you at the end of the day. Because I still want you to, like, if you're soaking in my free game, imagine the shit you pay me for. And that's also like, I feel like my millennial clients, they think that they can't hit me up, and it's like, no, if you are struggling, I would much rather you hit me up for help with the content that let's figure it out, because I need to help you post and be consistent every single day. So my services, how much they cost, it ranges. So if you just want to jump on a call with me and talk about like one thing for an hour, that's like I do a mentorship strategy session. That's just 150 per call. So that's something easy. Like, you don't know me like that, you're not trying to pay the big bucks. If you are trying to do, like, you want my actual brand development services, my services, brand development, creative, and marketing, all my services, they have a 3-month minimum. And if you only do one service at a time, it's $850 per month for one service. And then as you pile the services on, the price per service goes down. And if you sign on for like a 6-month term as opposed to a 3-month term, then the price also goes down. So, I give discounts and stuff, but that's honestly super cheap, because other digital marketing companies out there, they charge you $3,000 a month. Like $3,000 a month, and they might get on weekly calls with you, they might do some other things, but it's really just like, I mean, hey, they also, let me not dig, because they'll post the things on there for you and stuff that I'm not doing. I'm just creating the strategy and stuff that goes behind it. Like, you still have to do some of the work. So there's value in everything. Okay, so let me find baby girl's brand story. Here we go, Aayanna's backstory. So if you need to figure out your backstory, ask yourself this. So the first thing is, what was the problem? Like, all great stories, there's a problem someone is looking to overcome. And maybe you were told that you would never make it. Maybe your parents thought music was a bad career choice. Like, let's start there with developing your narrative. Is like, what was the struggle? Maybe you didn't know you could sing. Maybe you didn't think you really could rap. Maybe you still don't know you can rap. Maybe you the problem. Maybe you're in it right now. So people say you're too old, which, music artists can make it at any age. So if you don't have a job and are living on someone's couch, you might be too old to be a starving artist, but that doesn't mean that you're too old to be a music artist. But that's the first thing. It's like, what do you have to overcome? So my client, she, her dad was a music artist. He was the first rapper assigned to Motown. And sorry, I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. And so, she's really feels like she's continuing her father's legacy. And so that's a motivation for her. She moved to Atlanta originally to go to Georgia State, and she just can't escape music. Like, she feels like the music is just like, she can't escape it. And also she had to overcome being shy. Like, my artist, she has a very like soft voice when she sings, like very A. with like the coolness of Aaliyah, and then she kind of gives you like visually, she gives like Maya, because she has like the curly hair and stuff. But she's very sexy too. It's very cute. It's very, love her whole thing. But when she was younger, she was really shy, and she knew that she can't be shy. If she wants to perform her music on stage for people, she had to overcome like her shyness. But that's still like something that you struggle with. And so that kind of brings me to my next thing, where it's like, what was your internal struggle? So how did the problem make you feel? And so overcoming being shy, you have to learn how to do, music for yourself. And you have to learn how to really you have to learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, being a music artist is uncomfortable. You are sharing something super fucking personal that is like, you lived these lyrics. If you write your music, that's your original ideas. Those are your content, that's your story. You are sharing your story with, it don't matter if it's 5 people. That's actually even more intimidating. You got all 5 people looking at you. At least if it's 150 people, it might be a sea of people that you can like look at and you can change. But people don't start off with 150 capacity shows. They start off at bars. They start off in intimate venues. It's so hard performing. It's so hard being vulnerable like that. But if you want to be a music artist, like I said, you just have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, because it's never, and it'll become more comfortable to you, because then you get more excited about performing and sharing your art, as opposed to thinking about what people think. And that's another story for another day. That is what I like to call the showbiz mindset. That's the name of my YouTube series that I do, because it's all about like overcoming being a perfectionist and a people pleaser, and overcoming your overthinking, because a lot of music artists hold themselves back with their perfectionism, thinking that nothing that they do is ever good enough. That's why even to this day, like, music artists will release an album and then you'll be like, why do I have to download this again? And it's because they released a different version that might have like just small enhancements, background vocals, little things that they heard, that they knew, that they wanted to be better, but nobody else did. Because y'all are fucking perfectionists. You need to chill the hell out. Y'all need to chill out. You need to chill out. Over here, just being perfectionist, thinking about the smallest things that other people aren't thinking about. And it's good to some extent when it comes to, like, when you know your brand identity and when you have a visual, kind of aesthetic, it's good to, like, be able to have that attention to detail to make sure that your narrative, that your visuals, that everything is doing the goal that you have set out, because you understand who your audience is. You make music for your audience. Like, it's the whole thing. It's definitely a vibe. But yeah, artists, like, the hardest critics, and they just be in their head. And so the next thing, so if you're keeping notes, definitely, if you're not keeping notes, I need you to be keeping notes, because I'm really putting you up on game. Like, I'm telling you how to develop a brand narrative. Let's talk about it. Narrative and storytelling. I'm giving you a free service right now. So take notes. The first thing was, the first thing when developing your backstory is, what was the problem? What did you have to overcome? The second thing was, what was your internal struggle, and how did the problem above make you feel? The third thing is, what was your external struggle? So how, of course, again, we're thinking about how the problem above made you feel, but how did other people make you feel about this struggle that you were happening? So going back to the example of, you're not even a music artist. Hey, that's the thing. Marketing, branding, creative strategy, that can, like I said, I have a client who is a real estate company. They are a real estate investment coaching company, and I do services for them. So this is applicable anywhere. If you are trying to just, even if you're an entrepreneur, trying to figure out how to do your own kind of stuff. So the external struggle. So when you're thinking about being shy, that was her problem. Her internal struggle was overcoming, being shy, overcoming perfectionism and people pleasing. And you know where you want to be, but you feel like nothing is ever good enough because you're a perfectionist. And you can never smell the flowers. You can never enjoy anything. Like, literally, I be having to tell this artist, like, oh my God, we're officially viral. Oh my God, you have this. Oh my God, you have that. She does, because she doesn't even know what to be celebrating. And if she's not doing like millions and everything, she doesn't think that she's doing it. And I'm sure when she gets to that point, she's going to think, well, it's not a billion street. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the goalpost keeps moving. Like, perfectionism is a dangerous game. Nothing is ever good enough, and the good enough like line keeps moving. So it's actually really crazy. So she was bullied. She was bullied for being shy, and nothing was in her control. And, when she was creating music with other people, they weren't doing stuff that she was proud of. So that was kind of how her shyness became an external struggle, is because if people are like, girl, you can sing. Here, be in this group with your cousin. Here, and you're just kind of shy. You're not standing up for yourself. You're just doing what other people are telling you to do. As a music artist, it is super important for you to know how to have a voice and to stand up for yourself, because people will manipulate you. You will say yes to everything. You will be in the hole. And then now you can't make money off of like 4 albums until you recoup all the money that you owe the label. And they're not doing anything to help market your music and help you recoup. So it all falls on you at the end of the day. Do you know any cool playlists to submit my music to that are actually worth it? I don't submit music to playlists. I have relationships with playlist curators. So that is actually the advice that I would give you if you are trying to be playlisted, is if they like find out who the head of your music genre is at Spotify, at Apple Music, at these different places, so that you can build a relationship. Like, these people are literally on Twitter all the time talking about submit new music. Like, I literally just helped my artist Aayanna send her music to Elijah Sierra. They are the head of R&B at Spotify, and it was literally on a post that they posted that said rising artist of 2024, and I was like, I could see Aayanna on here, and she liked that. And then Aayanna was like, oh, I would love to, send you some new music. And then Elijah liked that. And they connected, and they exchanged. I'm not going to tell you how or where, because, you got to do the work. You got to do a little bit yourself. But it's really that easy. It's really that simple. It's really not as difficult as people think it is, because these people are human beings, and they like knowing new music. Their job is to create these playlists, and do you understand that their value increases when they discover new artists? They are looking for new artists, so curators don't control their content. They are definitely told what to play, and if they are they want money. What? No, I mean, playlist curators develop their playlists. They're not told what to play. Like, they will have relationships, and there's certain things that it makes sense for them to play, but the playlist curators that I'm talking about are people who are employed by the actual streaming companies. So I'm talking about Elijah Sierra, who is the head of R&B at Spotify. I am talking about Walter Tucker, who is over, I think it might be more than R&B. It might be hip hop and R&B and other things. But it's like, these are actual people who work at these companies who want, but I know them because of my work in the music industry. And so I know how to direct artists. But I only really know the curators in R&B because I work primarily with R&B artists. So, and that's not even a service I provide. I provide marketing, branding, and creative services. That is a part of me when I manage clients. Aayanna is the only client that I manage. So yes, to answer your question, I do manage artists, but I don't like to I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. Artist management is a very big job. And a lot of artists that think they need management don't. They don't have anything to manage. So just to like give you guys a heads up of where Aayanna was when I decided to bring her on as a client. Aayanna she is signed to an indie record label. She also has I think she has distribution services from Venice Music. She already had over 70,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. And her highest streaming song, I think, had maybe 1 million streams. So that is, for me, that was enough for me to be like, okay. So I charge for my consultation call. So sorry, I got ADD. So y'all talking to these comments, I'm gonna answer your questions, and that's fine. Y'all let me know if you want me to get back to the strategy and telling you guys how to develop your brand story. Because I'm here. I'm gonna go live. I'll do it more frequently. I'm trying to be consistent and at least go live once a week. But I didn't even promote this, and there's a bunch of people in here. I have over 1K likes. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I have 2 roses. What? Anyways. So for my consultation calls, I do a mentorship for $150, and it's $150 for an hour, and it is just us. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about for that hour. We can talk about, we can, and that's the thing. I only have an hour because I have a son, and he is at daycare from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. That is really the only time that I can get work done. My time is super, super, super valuable. So that's why, I don't play. That's why even for me to, I can't just do a free consultation because that's time that I can't get back that I could be getting money for doing something else, for lack of better words. And I hope that, that doesn't make me sound like an asshole at all. I just I have a limited amount of time. My time is very valuable. And as you can see, I can jump from subject to subject. Like my brain is just like, so it's, I need to focus and to do things so that's why even me just going live for an hour once a week, that is an hour that I am taking away from. But I mean, I'm also, this is helping my business because I'm able to be on here with you guys. And maybe before here, you guys wouldn't have known, 500 for a consultation call. Goddamn, that must be all they do. But no, I mean, I provide services, and like I said, my services start at $850 if you want to do a 3-month minimum. If you want to do a 6-month minimum, I drop that price to $775, and that is me actually doing this work with you to develop a personal backstory, to develop a personal brand identity and artist identity, for us to develop your visual aesthetic, for us to really dive in, and for you to have any questions with me, and it's a process, because not only do we define your brand identity, we refine it, because I don't know you better than you know you. And you're not going to know the shit that you do or don't fuck with until you actually start doing something. So we have to start somewhere, and it's a process. That's why I say I got to have a 3-month minimum, because I can't do shit in less than 3 months. Unless all I'm doing for you is creating and posting content, which I do provide as a service. That's what I do for that real estate company. I could do that. We could sign a 1-month contract for that. They pay me $1,500 a month to do that. And I post 1 story, 1 reel a day on their Instagram. But that's 7 days a week. But yeah, sorry. Okay. So girl power, definitely invest in yourself, invest in me at the same time. Let's do it, baby. Follow me if you're not already. Not I look like Doja. No, I do not look like Amala at all. We do not. You saying that because we mixed. I do not look like Mommy Ami. But I love her. That's my girl. That's I'm so biased. You can't say shit to me, because me and her, we have a real relationship, going to get sushi, no, I'm playing. It was a work relationship. You can never mix up work and who your real friends are. You definitely have to be able to tell the difference, and I'm able to tell the difference between a work relationship, and that doesn't mean that you can't be personal, doesn't mean you can't be cool, but if the relationship stops when the work stops, then it's a work relationship. I actually was trying to help music artists figure out how to create content that doesn't suck and make them creating content. What should the paid advertisement budget be monthly? I know it varies, but just a general budget. Well, the first thing before you run ads is make sure that the content performs well organically. And what's well organically, that, it depends on each person. For me, I am a business account. I cannot use trending audios or anything like that. So if my content, if I know I'm saying some good shit, if my content is getting me followers, if my content is breaking out of the 200-300 view range, and if my content is being liked, it can only have 200 views, but if it has 50 likes, y'all fucking with it. I'm about to put some money behind it. You know what I'm saying? And just do it. I would say start small. Start with just $100 budget, because if you're not bringing any money in, it's hard to dictate how much money you can have going out. I'm not trying to put you in the red. You know what I'm saying? So it really depends on, but you can run ads on a video, or you can do paid promotion on a video for 2 days, $10 a day. That is not crazy. And that can help you so significantly. A video that might have only gotten 200 or 300 views, but was getting a good amount of likes and was getting you followers, can now get 3,000 to 5,000 views. And it'll only get more followers, more views, more likes, because, say for a business that does about 15K monthly. Okay, so you do about 15K monthly. If you are creating content, that is getting you and that's the thing, I'm never going to tell you to run ads on content that isn't getting you traction. But I would say, like, you can really go hard with it. Like, you could do a smooth 500. Like, I'm never going to say, like, this is my thing, I haven't tested it out myself, so that's why I'm kind of like, I don't want to give you advice that I haven't tried and that I don't know how it performs. So that's why I don't even want to answer that question, because I'm like, like, I can tell you what I do for myself, and what I do for myself is I run ads on, yeah, exactly, come on, Master Row, you definitely derailed me. Talk about how to run ads, but that's what I do. I mean, I run ads on content that I look at my key performance indicators. It shows me the key performance indicators are my likes, my shares, my comments, my and all of that. Views, that's not really a key performance indicator, because your views depend on an algorithm pushing your content out to people. And that could just stop. It doesn't mean it's not a good piece of content. But anyways, bringing it back. So music artists that want to create content, that want to love content, or people who just don't know how to create content for yourselves, starting with the brand story, getting back to point. So we went over what's the problem, what is the internal struggle that you were having. Oh, I have a call. Is that at 1:30 or at 1? Oh, y'all got till 1:30. You got an extra 30 minutes. So if I don't get to your questions, you can hit me up, right? I got a whole page. And if you are like, okay, we need to get on a call, you can you could book a call with me, right? I got a link in my bio. So don't worry. Or even on here, I don't know what it says for y'all. For me, it says get leads, but it might say like apply here or something like that. That's also a way for you to reach out to me. I'm gonna let you know, if you reach out to me in DMs or anything like that, we're going to the email. It's got to go to email, because she has ADHD. She has to have structure and organization, or she will like get lost and won't be able to do things. Oh my God, you sent me a pair of pink shoes and a lightning bolt. Ooh, I don't know what that means, but thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh, the little heart. Look at, oh, hey. I don't know what it means, but it's cute and it's fun. So I'm enjoying it. Thank you so much. Nikayla. Is that how I pronounce your name? I hope I pronounced that right. It looks like Nikayla. Come on, confetti. What? Oh, it's a competition, y'all. Okay. The ADHD got me back to it, because, so we started with, what was the problem? What's your internal struggle? What's your external struggle? What was your change event? So what is something in your life that like turned everything around? Maybe you won a talent show. So what was your change event? You might have won a competition. You might have played your first show. You might have been able to, get a crowd from booing to cheering for you. What was that event that made you be like, ooh, I'm about to do this. I'm about to be a music artist. I'm gonna do this for real. I'm gonna invest my money into, whatever it is that made you be like, I'm going to take this seriously. So think about that. Think about your change event. Next, what was the spark? What was the change in you that event sparked? So, being 100% a music artist and performing every night, that could have been a once in a lifetime experience that you got that made you be like, holy shit, I really I'm about to go all in on this, because this is really what I want to do for the rest of my life. These lashes are bothering the shit out of me, but I didn't feel like putting on mascara, so sorry, ADD. And so the next is, who was your guide? Which other human being was a key player in your story, who believed in you, who showed you the way? And this can be multiple seasons. These can be different people for different reasons. This can be your first mentor who actually believed in you and invested time in you for no other return monetarily or anything other than they just wanted to see you win. That's what made you be like, you know what? I'm gonna stand on business. I'm gonna get this shit done. I'm really about to lock in. It can be your dad who, you know, wouldn't let you give up even when you wanted to give up on yourself, or who bought you your first keyboard, who taught you how to play the piano. It can be so many things. And it can also be, you know, maybe you found a photographer who has been locked in with you, creating content with you for free and everything, just because they fuck with you, they like your music, they see the vision. Like that's your A1, that's your day one. Like, so figure out who is your guide, and they can guide you in different ways, they can support you in different ways, they can do different things, you know. And then the final thing is, what was the result? Where are you now? What is the positive transformation? So we all have a backstory. You might not be where you want to be. You might not be top of the charts on the radio and all of that, or whatever you see for yourself, but you're further along than when you first started making music, than when you recorded your first song, than when you got your first client, when you tried to create your first contract. Wherever your starting point was, you're further than that point was. So you have gotten somewhere, you have gotten something. So to recap, this is how you develop a backstory. You start off with, what was the problem? You start off with, what was your struggle and how did that problem make you feel internally? You then go to, what was your external struggle and how did that problem that you had affect you externally? How did it make other people treat you? Then, what was your change event? What happened in your life to turn things around? Then what was the spark? So what was the change in you that event ignited, that sparked off for you? And then, who was your guide? Who is someone who helped you, a mentor who believed in you, who never let you give up on yourself? And then what was the result? Where did you get? So if you don't know how to create a backstory, that is how you create a backstory. And that is literally just one part of your brand identity, but it's a huge part. And it's a great place to start, because you are going to discover things about yourself. And then it's going to be super easy. Once you know this shit about yourself, then you're going to be able to create content where you're able to show up authentically. You didn't know what the fuck to talk about before because you never thought about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never thought about how you got to this point. You never broke it down like this. So of course you don't know what the fuck to talk about. Like, and everybody's like, oh, you know, you got to provide value. You have educational content. That is providing value. Providing like relatable content for people. Like the video for me that ignited my spark on this page, I can tell y'all from my own brand story, was a video where I was like, the music industry is fucking lost, because it is. And I'm not the only person who feels like that. And it's the fucking truth. I have so many friends, like, and that's the thing. I don't work at labels or in the buildings, not because I can't get a job there, because I decided to do my own shit. So I have friends who work at AWOL, who work at RCA, who work at Warner, who work at Atlantic, who work at all these places. I don't release music. I manage music artists. But I have like, and they're talking to me about it like, I'm so uninspired. We keep signing these fucking people who just have numbers on TikTok, and then it's the same rinse and repeat thing. We invest a bunch of money, they don't do shit, the numbers don't perform. And that's why I'm saying, when people who really know what they're talking about say don't pay attention to the vanity metrics, I'm telling you, don't pay attention to that shit. It don't matter. It does not matter, because are they buying your music? Are they buying your merch? Are they showing up to shows? That's what matters. And that comes with establishing a fan base. And the way that you do that is by creating a brand for yourself, developing creative content that showcases that brand, and learning how to market it. And those are the services that I provide. This has been my TED Talk. I'm Jazzmyne Kierra. No, I'm playing. But and no, that's the thing. Labels are great partners. I don't want to get it twisted. Like, the reason why I have so many friends that work at music labels is because music labels are filled with people who love music. Music labels are filled with people who love music, who want to help music artists just like I do. That was just their foot into the door. There's so many music artists. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to be on here until 1:30. So I might jump off at 1:15 to get ready for my call at 1:30. But
I can't sing, so I mean I can hold a note, but I can't sing for real, so I'm not making any music. But labels are great partners, exactly that. And that's the thing, is that you have to bring something to a partnership. I think that music artists think that when they sign to a label, that a label is going to do all of the work. But again, you cannot expect a label to do some shit about, like, they can't tell you who you are as a person. What the fuck? How the fuck are they supposed to do that? How are they supposed? And that's what music artists want. Like, they want, like, they can help you figure out what your brand identity is, but they're only doing that if you're an artist that they know they can get a return on. If you're an artist that they know, like, if I spend my time doing this, they are going to listen, and we're actually going to be able to make some shit go up. And the way that you prove that to labels and business partners, you know, I'm gonna keep coming back to branding, marketing, and creative, because I'm gonna stand on that hill until I die. Like, that is what you need. That is what's missing, and that's what artist development is. You know, I feel like that's a really hot topic in the streets too, is everybody says, like, labels aren't doing artist development anymore. Well, what is artist development? Tell these artists how to develop themselves. Like, where do we start? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I saw that because I have friends who work in the labels, and then I have friends who are music artists. So I see where the connection is not connecting. You know what I'm saying? I see where it's not lining up. And so what is good PR in your opinion? How many phone calls do I get in a day? I mean, I set calls up for myself. I try not to have more than like 3 to 4 calls, because usually my calls go for a long time. So I gotta, like I said, my son is only at daycare from, you know, a certain amount of time, and I have to get as much work as I can get done in that certain amount of time. So it's like very much, you know, prepare for fame. Me? What? Y'all think I'm finna go up on you know what? I'm trying, like, the people that I look up to are like Heather Lowry, you know, for Femme Forward and everything that she is doing in music. She is definitely someone that I see, whether she knows it or not. I see her as a mentor, because when we worked in Live Nation together, I literally met her in the kitchen. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know what she did, but I talked to her like a normal person. She talked to me like a normal person. I was just happy to see a Black woman in the building. I was like, oh, another Black girl. What's up? Let's talk. You know, oh, maybe you're misusing the term PR, but some of these artists are rude, mean, and don't appreciate fans. Yeah. And that might be, you know what it is though, is that I think a lot of music artists are very overstimulated and they're overwhelmed, and a lot of them just want to be normal. And when you get to a certain, because, you know, you weren't always like this. You remember what it's like to be able to go to the grocery store and for people to not want to take your picture, or to be able to walk into Taco Bell looking like shit and to get your cheesy gordita crunch and dip. And, you know, when you can't do that anymore, and you know, nothing can prepare you for fame. I'm gonna be 100. Nothing can prepare you for fame. But what can help you as fame comes is having a team that will help you, that loves you enough to be like, let's just get you into some therapy. Let's find you someone that you could just talk to on a weekly basis to kind of help you out with this. Because that's the first thing, is that, you know, art managers, we might turn into therapists, but we are not therapists. And there are real people that you can talk to that can actually help you. And no, there's so many nice celebrities, and even the celebrities who treat their artists crazy, they might be really nice too. That might have just been a bad day, or they might just want people to honestly leave them alone. Like, when artists are, and that's the thing, some people, you can tell when some people are assholes, but they don't appreciate their managers and how, okay. What was I? Sorry, y'all, really, the comments, I'd be so distracted. But yeah, I think that nothing can prepare you for fame. Nothing can prepare you for fame. The only thing that you can do is help manage it. And so by having managers and a management team that doesn't overload your schedule, that doesn't capitalize off of every opportunity, that gives you breaks, like real breaks, not take 2 weeks off and go to Hawaii to record your album. Like, no, take a month off to go travel. You just got off of a world tour. Take a seat It's okay. We will make sure that shit is here for you. And you know what, baby? Let's get you some brand partnerships. Just take, if you want to make some money and make sure you're not losing work, post this little bikini while you over there. You know what I'm saying? Like incorporating work into your life so that it's not overwhelming, so that you and being able to have a level of trust with your team where I don't have to lie to you to get you to do things. Because that's also very crazy in the music industry too, is not being able to trust your management. You didn't tell me I had to, this interview was 3 hours because you knew that I would never agree to something like that. But also, if you know that I'm not going to agree to something like that, what is a compromise? How do we meet in the middle? And it's all about managing expectations from the jump. So as things start to grow, you have to constantly manage your clients, expectations, the way that you guys treat each other, the way that you guys talk to each other, the way that you guys interact with each other. You really have to control that. And that's the thing, is that when you are overworked, that's when you start acting out. That's when you start jumping on live, complaining about everybody, saying how everybody sucks, not appreciating your fans, being rude, being mean. Like that's, I still don't believe artists don't view what they're doing as business. Oh, I still believe artists don't view what they're doing as business. And some of them don't. And some of them don't because they don't understand the business that comes behind it. They just know how to be creative. So they don't understand that they're an entrepreneur. They don't understand, they don't understand the concept of a sales funnel. I have that on one of my posts too, and I call it like a client journey for you, but it's basically a sales funnel. The way that a business owner would, go about marketing themselves to a wide array of people, and how the steps that they go from being just a random follower or bruiser on the internet to a paying client. That for me is a sales funnel. For music artists, I call that a fan journey. Like they start off like my client Aayanna, she just posted something last night that has over 100,000 views already. I think it's going to be her biggest, highest performing content. And it's literally, it uses her song. It is her like filing and doing her nails, and the song is called Risky, and it goes like, I don't want to talk, don't you hit me, told you I've been busy, two bad bitches with me, fucking up your city. And so the text on it says, when he says that he wants space and but now I'm over it, or something like that. He said he needed space, but now I'm over it. And that's the thing, is that that was not hard for her to do. She recorded herself watching a YouTuber that other people her age fuck with, that her ideal fans. Like, I want you to, the kind of people that I want to like my music are going to be watching this YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I originally came up with the idea, I was like, ooh, you should twerk around the house. Like, saying, just basically doing anything, being like, I'm not too busy. I'm just too busy for yo ass, basically, was the original concept. But she made it her own, and she made it personal to her. And, I don't know what kind of YouTubers 22-year-olds are looking at, but she does, because she's a 22-year-old, So it's a partnership when you work together to create content that is specific to you, that incorporates your music, that isn't corny, that's authentic, that excites you to create. But it took a lot of, it was a process. Again, we started in October. She just posted that video this week. We're still in a process. I would come up with a week's worth of content ideas. And last week she just gave me so many notes. I was like, girl, I am making all these content ideas, and you are just posting whatever you want to. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, you're like, I hope you're not offended. And I'm like, no, I'm not offended. Just tell me what I need to do to help you out in the best way. So if that is me helping you out with captions, if that is me telling you when to talk to people on Twitter, like whatever you need me to do to help you, baby, it's your world, it's your brand. I want you to show up as you. I want you to do the best things for you to help your music grow. I am here to help you. So I'm never going to get offended, but it's just like, I'm also not going to create these. So yeah, so it's a journey. It's a partnership. And like I said, I'm never going to know you more than you going to know you. So, I can't do this without you. I can't define who you are as a brand without you. But I hope that you took down the notes of how to do your narrative and your storytelling, because that is only one part of your brand identity. Get your notebook back out, and I'm going to tell you all the parts of your brand identity. And, maybe just each week, just keep coming on here, or whenever I go live, jump on, and maybe I'll just be talking about a different part so that by the end of this, you'll have a whole brand identity. And if you're still like, okay, cool, happy I have this brand identity, how can I make content for this? That's when you can hit me up and we can work together. That's always the goal. I'm gonna always put y'all on. I'm gonna always give you free game. But if you're just like, this is cute, but I don't know how to do this shit for myself, that's what you pay me for. That's what it's made for. Okay, anyways. So the different parts of a brand identity. You start off with a brand essence. Then, and if you're like, what the fuck is a brand essence? Here's an example of my client Aayanna's. Aayanna's brand essence embodies a fusion of ethereal elegance, laid-back coolness, and timeless allure, drawing inspiration from Amerie's dreamy vocals, Aaliyah's effortless cool tone, and Maya's captivating presence. Aayanna's brand is a contemporary homage to the iconic women who have shaped R&B. Ooh, I did that, huh? Ooh. So that is brand essence. And like I told y'all earlier, I was like, she reminds me of Amerie, and she reminds me of da, 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 da. It's taking that, and then it's like, it's putting it into something. And girl, if you're like, okay, I don't know how to write that for myself, ChatGPT, okay? ChatGPT is literally a brainstorming app. Tell them, I feel like I always get compared to this artist because of how I sing. I get compared to this artist because of how I look. People tell me that I have these kinds of vibes. Can you help me develop my brand identity, or develop my brand essence? Okay, back to it. So that's just one part. I'm gonna go through all of them, and then I can go back and give examples. I literally have to jump off in 10 minutes to get on this call with my client, Aayanna. So that was your brand essence. Then you go into your visual aesthetic. And, not going to give examples, but brand essence, visual aesthetic, your tagline, which, and now this I can give an example too, because I just created one with Aayanna, where she's based in Atlanta, and she, here, sorry, I'm trying to find the tagline because it was so good. I'm looking at my text messages. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. I'm trying to find it. Okay, so it is angelic ATL muse, heavenly voice, R&B daydream. So the reason that I say that is because ethereal vibes, and that's a part of her visual aesthetic, is that ethereal music, there's different types of ethereal, and you can be like a fucking fairy in the forest ethereal, but we just decided to go the dreamy angel ethereal route, because she has a little baby angel face. Like, everybody on here, please go follow my artist Aayanna. She is beautiful. She can sing. This is her year. We about to blow her up. And she, she has the face of an angel with the vocals to match, and that's what she wanted to put. I was like, bitch, that cannot be your tagline. The face of an angel with the vocals to match. I mean, it can be, but I wanted it to be a little bit more, a little, because I also want people to know where she's located. Saying that she's in ATL, that's very important, because then people know how they can work with you when they know where you're located. So yeah. I guess it is kind of ghetto to just say the angel vocals with the things to match. But yeah, so again, the tagline was angelic ATL muse, heavenly voice, R&B daydream. So going back to it, the parts that make up your brand identity, you start with your brand essence, then you have your visual aesthetic, you have your tagline, you have your narrative and storytelling, which is what if you were on my live earlier, you were able to, I went through from the rooter to the tutor, how to develop a brand story. I will repost this on my YouTube. If you couldn't look at it, don't worry. Just look out for that later, and you can, have your notebook out, because she's putting you on game. And so you have your narrative and storytelling. You have your values and your persona. That is so fucking huge, and I have to give you an example immediately, because Your values and your persona, that's who the fuck you are. Nobody can tell you your values and your persona. Nobody can tell you that. That is you. That is who you are. And so with Aayanna, her brand values are her authenticity, her empowerment, and her self-love. So she, like, the content that she creates, the music that she creates, her lyrics, she writes all of that. She's an amazing writer, and she's like, I can't talk. I take my apologies and Zell and designer if you fuck up with me. Like, that's literally a line. Like, she's cold. She is so cold with the pen, y'all. And so that's really who she is. And to continue, her persona can be portrayed as the good girl gone bad. So a touch of vulnerability, showcasing the dichotomy of strength and sensitivity. So that's her values and her persona in a nutshell. And it's the good girl gone bad because even though she makes ethereal music and we're going with the angel theme, there's a white angel, there's a black angel, there's a light angel, there's a dark angel, there's two sides to everything. Oh, Aayanna just hit me and told me she's ready if I am, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Okay, so the last things: target audience alignment, consistency across platforms. And so by defining and refining that brand identity using these elements, let me go through them again: brand essence, visual aesthetic, tagline, narrative and storytelling, values and persona, target audience alignment, consistency across platforms. Those are the 7 elements for your brand identity. And if you define these elements, you refine these elements, you can create a cohesive and compelling image that resonates with your audience and sets the stage for a successful and authentic representation in the music industry. Okay. Well, okay, I gotta go. I have my call. Thank you so much, everyone who jumped on here, everyone who showed me love. This is crazy. If you, don't worry if you weren't here earlier, I will repost this on my YouTube later, and I will post on my TikTok letting you guys know when it's on my YouTube. Thank you so much to everybody. This has been super fun. I am going to do this every Wednesday at 12. I'll try to work it in more, but time is money, and I gotta go. Thank you guys so much.